Hi, my name is Randy Gray and I'm a cartoonist, and I'm going to spend a little time talking to you about how to make your drawings better. And the cool thing about art is you can express your feelings, and it's really limited only by your imagination. You can draw whatever you like as long as you're able to see it in your head or see it out in the world. Now, right now we're in a time when we're talking and thinking a lot about the coronavirus. A lot of us has been inside for a long time, and we get a little bit bored. We're sad because we've been away from school. We haven't been able to see our friends. And also right now, there's a lot of things going on right now outside with protests and Black Lives Matter and equal justice. And it makes us feel a lot of things. So when you're drawing your artwork, you can express how you feel through that. So let's go to the board and we're going to talk about shapes. And the basic shapes, your circle, square, triangle, those things are the cornerstone of any drawing to me. If you know how to make your shapes, you can draw. So let's say you're going to draw a face, and you start with a circle, and then you make a plus in the middle. All right? You've probably seen those if you've seen a drawing book or a drawing tutorial online, but anytime you're drawing a face, this is where you start. And when you measure things and you see your shapes, you got a plus, you got your circle, you can draw a face. If you can do that, you can do whatever you like. I'm going to erase it here, and I could still see a little bit of that outline. Okay, if you follow along with me, you can draw a really good face. And sometimes if you usually just draw the outline of things, sometimes things can be a little bit complicated. But if you think in terms of shapes, really complicated things can be a lot more simple to draw. So we're going to draw a face here, starting there. And right in here will be your eyes. They're just ovals. And the same distance between these eyes, if you go down that same distance, will be about where your nose is. And then halfway between the nose and the bottom of this circle or oval will be where your mouth is. And if you right alongside where this eye is will be one ear, and on this side will be your other ear. And you have basically a human face, and right in the middle are your eyes, circles. And with this basic shape human face, you can pretty much add details to make whatever you want. So let's say you want to draw yourself, so I'll draw me. And when you're drawing yourself, you want to think about all the things that make you special and unique, whether you have big hair or short hair, or like mine, I have little short hair, I have a beard, or let's see, I have my lips a little bigger, so I'll up here, and I also have a beard, and my mustache. And when you're drawing your eyebrows, I'm going to go halfway between the top of the head and the eyes. And remember, when you first start out drawing and when you're first practicing, you need to learn to not only see shapes, but see things as you are. Sometimes when we're drawing, we know we have a head, we know we have a neck and a body, and we know we have arms and legs, but we haven't really spent the time to see exactly where those arms, legs, and where they are on the body. So when you think of all these shapes and how they relate to each other, your drawings start to get a lot better. So we taking our head and we say our neck is a little cylinder or a rectangle here. And our body will be basically a square in the middle. And if you go over just a little bit past the ear, right at the ear will be how wide your shoulders will be. And if you go down, you put a circle here where about your hands would fall. Do that on both sides. And you can see it's not just about the shapes, but also how far the shapes are from one another. That's really important if you want to improve your drawing. Let's say the waist comes right about here. And so actually, your legs don't come straight out from your waist. There actually is a little bit of a space that ends right about where your hands start. So right about here. And your legs start from there. So automatically, if you're usually used to drawing people like a face, a body, and then your legs, if you think about these things and the shapes, you're automatically going to get a lot better, and you're going to start drawing your drawings a little bit more realistic. And then your feet, well, don't have much room down here, but your feet start right about after that. And your legs are about the same length as your body. So if you take this distance and make that same distance down here, that's where your feet will start. And then your hands can start with the circle, your thumb, 4 fingers, thumb, and 4 fingers. And that's really just your basic body shape. And you can draw yourself just the same. Now, here's when we get to the real fun stuff. When your shapes are in order and you have your face, now we want to talk about how you're going to give yourself expression. Let's say sometimes you're happy, simple smiley face, or sometimes you're sad. And sometimes we feel things are feeling a little bit more complicated, like sometimes we're worried. But these expressions, sometimes you can look in the mirror and look at how your face looks, and then simplify your own face into basic shapes, which these are just basically circles with lines, and apply those things to your drawings when you're drawing yourself. Like, let's say I want to draw myself. Now, when you're old like me and you've been drawing a long time, you can start to see those shapes without having to draw them through. And when you practice and practice a lot, you can start to see it in your head, and you can take shortcuts. Now, this guy is going to be a little bit worried about something that's coming. Let's see, his nose is just a little C. It's just that simple. Okay, let's get away from people for a little bit, and let's say we're going to draw a cat. Okay, get a circle, and now we're going to get in some triangles. Let's see, make our circle a little bit more round. Triangle, triangle, circle, circle, and basically, if you notice, a cat basically has a little stick man with no arms in the middle, and more circles. Give him a body, and give him some arms. And a tail. Now, right now, I would say the cat just looks like he's got a blank expression, but depending on how you use the eyebrows, the eyes, and his mouth, you can change his expression. Expressions are all in the eyes and the mouth when it comes to the face. Let's say he's angry. He's tired of dealing with the coronavirus. He's been inside too long, so he's going to be a little bit upset. Give him some angry eyebrows. All right. Well, now he's going to be happier because he's going to finally have a chance to go outside. And give him a little tooth here. And his tongue is basically a little half moon or a sun setting. Give him some feet out there. There's your cat. Shapes. Okay. So when you start drawing on your paper, lined paper is perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be the nice clean white sheets, and sometimes lined paper can even be better when you're starting out because it helps you to measure. It helps you with having things in between distances. I like to use mechanical pencils because it helps me to learn to draw lighter. When you draw lighter, it allows you to erase easier if you need to erase, or it can also make it easier when you're going back over your artwork with pens or markers. I have black Crayola markers. I'm used to using those, or just a Sharpie. Anything that has ink or that you can go back over your line work with, because when you get to more complicated drawings and you're drawing your shapes, you don't want all the interlocking shapes to show on your final drawing. You want to be able to erase that stuff or go over it with a heavier pen or marker. And I also recommend, if you're really wanting to get good at drawing, you always need to have a sketchbook. It can be a little steno notebook like you have at school, or one that has clean white paper. Always have your sketchbook with you to sketch your ideas or draw things that you see. Always have your sketchbook. So let's say we're going to draw some characters that you've heard of and that you know. So if we just go, and I'm used to drawing really fast, and I draw with a light pencil and I go really lightly. So a circle, and then a circle, there's triangles. The good thing about really getting good with your shapes, it makes good for good silhouettes, which is the outline, the shadow, the outline of your characters. Just do your sketchy outlines, then you can always go back with a marker, or if you have a pen, that works fine too. And you just want to go over the lines that you want to be shown. So if you have extra lines or any lines that were drawn through, just to help you establish yourself, you don't have to go back over that part. And anybody who's into comic books knows this is called inking. Now this part will be more for the more advanced artists who want to get better and just take your drawings to the next level. Because believe it or not, even the most detailed and experienced artists still always use shapes. There's a little quick drawing of the animated Batman. Let's add this over there. Or, I think this is a really good example of shapes, because this is and they say if you're a designing your own character, coming up with your own character, the coolest characters are the ones that somebody feels like they could draw to. You see, this is mostly just a bunch of circles intersecting with one another. So today we talked about the shapes, the basic shapes: circle, square, triangle. I have a rectangle here, but also cylinders, all the basic shapes. And you can draw whatever you like. And you can get better by just thinking about basic shapes. Even the most complicated car, the most complicated character, if you just see those shapes, you can draw anything. And you can express yourself when you draw. And I encourage you to draw every day. Have your sketchbook, draw what you're feeling, draw what you think is funny, draw something that you see you want to remember. And every time you draw, you'll get better. If I'm drawing how I'm feeling, I would say it makes me happy when I talk about drawing and art. And the more you practice your drawing, the better and the faster you get. I'm Randy Gray, and I'm so happy to be here as a part of STEAM Club. You can find me online on Instagram at CartoonRandyG, or anywhere else if you just Google me. My website, myquestforcool.tumblr.com. And guys, keep reading, keep drawing, and have a great summer.